Alo Bụng, suốt bài Bụng.
Bụng suốt bài ta con. Vậy chẳng tới đó ngày bông là cô ông lên ôn thì ra cô ơi.
Cha Bụng chấm con phía ơi.
Rồi chứ, tịch tiết con anh nghe lùi mói.
Alo Bụng.
Con à, Bụng tao đọt lôi này hả con?
Cô mong toa tới lá ta mà con hai gì?
Chia mũi ba con, nhà lôi tám lết tôi sắp toa mình cắt thay xe và nghe sủa sủa vật tập hiệp nâng miếng pro tập hiệp đã nâng đọt bạ về nào của bạn thì nát của bạn tiền dọc ấy lấy ní. Mình pra ba con té chia mũi ba con à tịnh thế chôn ai nhà lối ai nè tam lết tôi sập bàn mình cắt thay xe và
đã nâng độ ra tên nào có bán thì nát có bàn
nghe sủa sủa vật tập hiệp nâng miếng pro tập hiệp tiền dọc ấy lấy ní.
Introducing May by Maybank to you, a new app that'll help you sort things out. Automatically tracks and categorizes all your spending so now you can focus on the things you love. Like that big trip that you and your friends have been talking about that you can save for by yourself or even better, why not save for it together? It's super easy thanks to the group tabung feature. When it's time to hit the road, it can even help you sort out payments. With Scan and Pay and now a May card that gives you the perks and deals. So kick back, relax, and let May sort out the rest. For an app that'll take care of your expenses, savings, spending, and lots more.
It's got a day, May.
Ý đến thầy mua nhé.
Ok Pư. Con bị bạc đây chai, chai lơi tam ní của bạn đây.
Scan QR code ជាមួយបាកងដើម្បីទូទាត់ប្រាក់គ្រប់ទីកន្លែងដោយសុវត្ថិភាពដាក់ដឹងដល់ប្រាក់ពេលណាក៏បានទីណាក៏បានងាយស្រួលសុវត្ថិភាពនិងមានប្រសិទ្ធភាពទាញយកឥឡូវនេះ
ចេញមាននឹងទៅណាទៅយើង
តោះទៅមើលគាត់នេះ
អូខេ
ឲ្យគ្នាម្នាក់ 36,700 មក
ហើយ
បាកងផ្ញើលុយបានឆាប់រហ័សនិងមិនគិតថ្លៃសេវា
ឈប់ ពុកចាប់បតនីគាខុសគ្នា
ធនាគារណាក៏អាចផ្ញើបានដែរអត់ចាំលេខកណ្ដាលដីផងហ្នឹង
ផ្ញើតាមលេខទូរស័ព្ទក៏បាន scan តាម QR code ក៏បាន
ជាមួយបាកងផ្ញើលុយពេលណាក៏បានទីណាក៏បានងាយស្រួលសុវត្ថិភាពនិងមានប្រសិទ្ធភាពទាញយកឥឡូវនេះ
It's got a day May
ឥឡូវពុកសុខសប្បាយពុក
ពុកសុខសប្បាយតាកូននិយាយចឹងត្រូវដល់ថ្ងៃបងសាលាគួរអង់គ្លេសប្អូនទៀតណាកូនអើយ
ចាពុកចាំកូនផ្ញើឲ្យ
អត់អីទេតិចទៀតកូនឯងផ្ញើលុយមកហើយ
ឥឡូវពុក
កូនណាពុកទៅដកលុយនៅណាកូន
កុំបងផ្ទាល់ទៅសាលាតាមមកកងហើយឯង
ជាមួយបាកងផ្ញើលុយតាមលេខទូរស័ព្ទផ្ទាល់មិនគិតថ្លៃសេវាងាយស្រួលសុវត្ថិភាពនិងមានប្រសិទ្ធភាពដាក់នឹងដកប្រាក់ពេលណាក៏បានទីណាក៏បានទាញយកឥឡូវនេះ
It's got a day May
ចាស្នាប់ចុះស្នាប់ពីដល់ទាំងអស់គ្នា
ហើយនេះគឺជាលេខក្នុងធនាគាររបស់ខ្ញុំហើយនឹងលេខវេលុយណាឪវាតោះដកលុយ
គ្រាន់តែប្រមូលលុយក៏ពិបាកដែរមិនក៏មិនប្រាប់បាកងទេជាមួយបាកងអតិថិជនអាចផ្ញើលុយឲ្យអ្នកតាមលេខទូរស័ព្ទបានមិនគិតថ្លៃសេវាដាក់នឹងដកប្រាក់ពេលណាក៏បានទីណាក៏បានងាយស្រួលសុវត្ថិភាពនិងមានប្រសិទ្ធភាពទាញយកឥឡូវនេះ
Introducing May by Maybank to you, a new app that'll help you sort things out. It automatically tracks and categorizes all your spending so now you can focus on the things you love. Like that big trip that you and your friends have been talking about, that you can save for by yourself, or even better, why not save for it together? It's super easy thanks to the Group Tabung feature. And when it's time to hit the road, we can even help you sort out payments. With Scan and Pay and now a May card that gives you the perks and deals. So kick back, relax, and let May sort out the rest. For an app that'll take care of your expenses, savings, spending, and lots more.
It's got a day May
afternoon, Kurup Chamrup Sur, Excellencies, Dato, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen who are tuning in from Cambodia and Malaysia. I'm Siti from Maybank Malaysia and my co-MC Saray from the National Bank of Cambodia. A very warm welcome to the official launch of Maybank-Bakong Cross-Border Funds Transfer. Maybank-Bakong Cross-Border Funds Transfer is an initiative between the National Bank of Cambodia and Maybank to promote a collaboration in the area of cross-border payment and remittance between Cambodia and Malaysia with a seamless, secure yet affordable solution.
Pandemic does not allow us to meet physically today, but we are very pleased that we can still stay connected with the presence of our distinguished guests joining us virtually from different parts of the world. Now, please join me to warmly welcome our distinguished guests. At this juncture, we would appreciate it for all our guests present today to please switch on your video so we can say hello to each other. All right, thank you very much. Starting out with our distinguished project sponsor, Her Excellency Dr. Tia Saray, Assistant Governor and Director General of Central Banking, National Bank Cambodia. Dato Hami Rula Bohan, Head of Community Financial Services of Maybank Malaysia. Dato Muhammad Hanif Shwadi, CEO of Maybank Cambodia. And to our distinguished guest of honor, His Excellency Rod Suvarnarek, Assistant Governor and Director General of Banking Supervision, National Bank Cambodia. His Excellency Choi Vichat, Ambassador of Cambodia to Malaysia. Mr. Attorney Brent Elam, Chairman of Maybank Cambodia. Management members of the National Bank Cambodia. Board of Directors, Group Exco, and management members of Maybank. And last but not least, welcome also to all our amazing, hardworking, and dedicated members of the Maybank-Bakong Cross-Border Fund Transfer Project Team from the National Bank of Cambodia and Maybank.
Ladies and gentlemen, to begin this auspicious event, please rise for the national anthem of Cambodia and Malaysia. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now proceed with a special video message from Dr. Abdul Farid alias, Maybank Group President and Chief Executive Officer.
Greetings and a very good afternoon to everyone in Cambodia and Malaysia. Her Excellency Chair Surrey, Assistant Governor and Director General, Central Banking of National Bank of Cambodia, His Excellency Ras Sovanorak, Director General, Banking Supervision of the National Bank of Cambodia, Encik Vijaya Kumar Nair, Director, Financial Conglomerates Supervision Department, Bank Negara Malaysia, His Excellency Chiu Bichet, Ambassador of Cambodia to Malaysia, His Excellency Aldin Hussaini Muhammad Hashim, Ambassador of Malaysia to Cambodia, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor for Maybank to partner the National Bank of Cambodia for the official launch of the Maybank-Bakong cross-border funds transfer today. I am very proud to say that this project marks a significant milestone for us. With our digital banking capabilities and strong presence in ASEAN, we are introducing a seamless, secure, and low-cost digital solution for our customers to remit money in the region, especially those who are underserved in Malaysia and Cambodia. This is in line with our mission of humanizing financial services by making banking super easy, secure, and more importantly, ensuring financial inclusion. This Maybank-Bakong cross-border funds transfer is one of our initiatives aligned to our M25 plan. It enables our customers in Malaysia to perform cross-border transfers to any Bakong wallet in Cambodia via the MAE app, using the National Bank of Cambodia's blockchain-based Bakong payment system. With this, we hope to serve more customers, particularly the Cambodian migrant workers in Malaysia, to send money seamlessly to their families and friends in Cambodia at any time from wherever they are. Maybank's mobile application are now in the hands of 7 million customers, and MAE is an all-encompassing app that fulfills our customers' day-to-day money management on top of their banking needs, with key features like paying bills, performing local and overseas funds transfer, personal financial management tool, and a tabung, which simplifies the process of saving money. Our aim is to help customers manage their finances more easily and responsibly. What's exciting is that MAE continues to grow as we strive to meet the different needs of customers along the way. There will be more to come as it evolves into a truly lifestyle app for the future. On this note, let me thank the NBC for having us as your first partner for Bakong's cross-border funds transfer. We are happy to support your aspirations in expanding Bakong's capabilities globally. Thank you.
A great message by Dr. Farid. Moving on, it's gives us a great pleasure to invite His Excellency Choi Vichit, Ambassador of Cambodia to Malaysia, who is with us in this virtual event today to deliver his remarks. Please welcome.
Excellencies, Aldins, and the ambassadors of Malaysia to Cambodia, Her Excellency Chia Surrey, Assistant Governor and Director of the General National Bank of Cambodia, Datuk Abdul Afri alias Group President of the CEO of Malaysian Bank, or Maybank, Datuk Harum Melas Bora, Head of Community Financial Service, Maybank Malaysia, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. It is my great honor and pleasure to be invited to speak at the official launch of the Bakong cross-border payments remittance between Cambodia and Malaysia, which is considered as a new milestone in central banking and the payment industry. I believe that this development also play a crucial role in deepening the collaboration between the two countries. Taking this opportunity, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to His Excellency Dr. Chichanto, Governor of the National Bank of Cambodia, for his great leadership and policy guidance, as well as to management and technical team of the National Bank of Cambodia and Maybank for joint effort and cooperation in initiating these projects and making this project successfully completed. It has been noted that over decades, there has been a strong focus on further enhancing domestic payment with a significant increase in instant payments and financial innovation and customer-facing end. Taking into account the acceleration of the financial and economic integration regionally and globally, cross-border payment has recently been receiving lots of interest from policymakers, regulators, and all stakeholders in payment industry, giving its significance in both value and volume. Despite their importance, cross-border payments still suffer from a number of challenges around cost, speed, access, and transparency. The challenge of cross-border payment has been on the agenda for a long time, but bringing about change in this area is not easy. It requires strong international collaboration and commitment. Therefore, it was very welcome that enhancing cross-border payment was set as one of the priorities of the National Bank of Cambodia. The official launch of banking cross-border payment and remittance between Cambodia and Malaysia today is expected to benefit Cambodians and Malaysians, especially migrant workers who live in overseas and need to send money to support their family safely and affordably, while at the same time, this promotes payments system at both domestic and regional level. In closing, I would like to thank the National Bank of Cambodia and Maybank for these invitations. It is my sincere hope that the achievement will contribute to not only strengthening economic ties, but also promoting lasting friendship between our two countries. May I conclude my remark by wishing all Excellencies Governor, Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good health, prosperity, happiness, success in every endeavor. Please stay safe from the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for the wonderful remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Eldin Hussaini Mohamad Hashim, Ambassador of Malaysia to Cambodia, is not able to join us today. Nonetheless, His Excellency would like to share a congratulatory note to all of us. Let me share his message to all of you, yeah? I hope this letter finds you in good spirits and health. It gives me great pleasure to convey my heartfelt congratulations to Your Excellency on the launch of the Maybank-Bakong cross-border funds transfer service. I'm pleased to know that under this new normal brought about the chaos and extreme difficulties of COVID-19, both sides continued to persevere to arrive at this meaningful collaboration, which will facilitate and expedite the transfer of funds between citizens of Malaysia and Cambodia. This is proof that working together, we will always find light at the end of the tunnel. In the bigger context, the partnership between Maybank Cambodia and National Bank of Cambodia highlights the excellent cooperation between the banking and finance sectors of Malaysia and Cambodia. This collaboration helps bridge the gap and connect all the dots towards strengthening bilateral ties and marks another important milestone in our 64-year relationship, which encompasses political, economic, defense, education, and cultural ties. Malaysia and Cambodia have gone through a more progressive and productive era at present. The increasingly warm and friendly ties between our two countries will certainly open more doors towards establishing other fruitful collaboration initiatives such as this one. When the sky is the limit, nothing can stop us from bringing out the full potential of both Malaysia and Cambodia to the fore. On this note, I once again offer my congratulations to Your Excellency and to everyone involved in this watershed event. This commendable achievement is another source of pride among all Malaysians and Cambodians. Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is a progress, and working together is a success. We thank His Excellency for his meaningful notes, and we are indeed pleased to have reached this significant milestone.
Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Maybank-Bakong cross-border fund transfer brings to all of us a real-time fund transfer service between Malaysia and Cambodia through the National Bank Cambodia Bakong e-wallet and Maybank MAE app. It is Bakong first inter-country payment service and the first overseas fund transfer features on the MAE app. What was the motivation behind this project? How has digital payment evolved in this region? How did the National Bank of Cambodia and Maybank got into these collaborations? Let's find out from our special agenda today, a fireside chat honorably participated by our project sponsors of the Maybank-Bakong cross-border fund transfer. So please allow me to welcome Her Excellency Dr. Chia Saray, Assistant Governor and Director General of the Central Banking of the National Bank Cambodia, Dato' Mahami Rula Bohan, Head of Community Financial Services of Maybank Malaysia, Dato' Muhammad Hanish Radi, Chief Executive Officer of Maybank Cambodia. And also welcome our moderator for this wonderful fireside chat, Mr. Kenneth Lum, Head of Digital Innovation and Strategy, Virtual Banking and Payment Community Financial Services, Maybank Malaysia. Please welcome.
A very good evening to everybody and welcome to the Fireside Chat section of this exciting and historic launch event. My name is Kenneth and I'll be the moderator for today's chat. And together with our three honorable guests, Her Excellency, Dr. Chia Saray, Dato' Hamirullah Borhan, and Dato' Hanif, this Fireside Chat aims to provide a deeper insight into the true essence of what Bakong is about. How Bakong helps the Cambodian people, and how Maybank and Bakong came together to launch this exciting project. I'm sure everyone is keen to hear more from our distinguished guests, and I'd like to kick off this session with a question for Her Excellency. Excellency, if I may, what inspired you to initiate the Bakong project?
Thank you, Kenneth, and good evening to our audience, our speakers. We started in, I think, looking into it about 2015 when cryptocurrency were actually quite it was quite the noise of the time. And the National Bank of Cambodia was actually among the first central bank to come out and says that we don't recognize cryptocurrency as legal tender, and then we don't allow the trading of cryptocurrency. And at that time, I remember there were a lot of criticism as to the way the National Bank of Cambodia handled this. Some criticize us to be, backward looking and so on and so forth. But while we were announcing this, it was also in our interest to further understand the nature of cryptocurrency. At that time, blockchain was the technology that backed those crypto. And so we were studying blockchain technology, but also trying to understand more what it does. But also at that time, Cambodia payment system was very fragmented. We have banks who provide payment services to their account holder. And then we've got the payment service provider who were providing payment services to their wallet users. And usually when you want to register a bank account, open a bank account with the bank, the KYC requirement is actually more tedious. And therefore, a lot of people would rather go and open a wallet account. And then you would see there's sort of a divide and socially between people in the rural area or people less affluent using the wallet as opposed to people more affluent using banking services. And overall in the country back then, we had about less than 50% of our population having a bank account. That was in about 5-7 years ago. And so the idea was, how can we bridge, these two segments of the population together? How can we make payment system smooth where and I would sort of assimilate it to the way you use a mobile phone, where if you use a different service provider, you can't call each other, which is ridiculous. The same with payment service provider. You should be able to send money to whoever you want to, regardless who are their service provider, whether they are a bank or payment service provider. And so that really came about the idea of connecting the retail payment together. But also trying to overcome the fact that Cambodia at that time, or still now, don't have an RTGS system, which is a real-time gross settlement system between banks. And so because Bakong, it's a real-time settlement, and it works on a real-time basis, we thought that it would be able to help sort of act as a transitional system for bank to do real time. It's evolved eventually, but that's very much the background on how Bakong came about.
I see. It's indeed crucial that advancements in financial capabilities of a country is steered by the very need to address key challenges faced by the people of the country. So my next question is actually to Dato' Hanif. How do you foresee the cashless payment system in Cambodia progressing, and what impact would this have on the people of Cambodia?
Thank you, Kenneth. Really, Cambodia has a relatively young population, and we see very high mobile phone penetration, especially within the economically active age group of 14 to 49 years old. And I think this trend will only continue to grow as more and more technology and tools are increasingly becoming heavily embedded in mobile phones, providing the country's future generation with the necessary capabilities to expand their horizons while improving financial and digital literacy levels. Young people are increasingly looking for seamless banking and payment methods where they can perform fund transfers or payments with ease. Instead of cash, now they are starting to transfer or pay via digital. And this includes phone top-up, utility bill payments, salaries, tax payments, online purchasing via e-commerce platforms, and so on and so forth. If you look at the data from our Maybank's own internet banking and mobile app, Maybank 2U registration in Cambodia, we saw a surge in growth of about 30% in 2020 compared to the previous year. And what is even more remarkable is the exponential growth in monetary transactions value of more than 110% thus far in 2021, if you compare to last year. Now, Kenneth, this is an extremely encouraging development and evidence that our future generation is adapting well and demanding for increased levels of digital services, and are well on their path to embracing digital as a new and more effective way of obtaining financial services that's convenient, fast, and affordable. If you may, the COVID-19 pandemic in a way provided the stimulus that intensified the kingdom's push towards becoming a cashless society, as consumers increasingly opt to conduct digital payments instead of the conventional physical transactions. Now, Bakong is one of the initiatives that paves that way, change the landscape of payment ecosystems in response to such changes in the market. The Royal Government of Cambodia's Digital Economy and Social Policy Framework 2021-2035 will certainly thrust fresh momentum into the kingdom's information and communication technology and ICT sector, and calibrate the pace of its development to leapfrog into the digital era, with promising new sources of opportunities to boost productivity, efficiency, and economic competitiveness. And I believe in the next 15 years, or potentially even earlier, Cambodia will become a fully cashless society in which all payments will be done electronically. Kenneth, thank you.
It's great to see that digital and technology has become a very strong proponent of change and progress, especially in the financial services sphere. Over to you, Dato' Hamirullah. As the leading bank in Malaysia, how have you seen the evolving behavior of our customers and the acceptance of Malaysians towards digital payments in Malaysia?
Okay, thanks, Kenneth. Excellencies, distinguished guests, good evening, and to everyone. Thank you for having me here. So to respond to Kenneth's question, to look at in terms of how the evolving behavior, the Malaysian towards digital payments, even I can talk about digitalization. So the answer is superb. The number are significant. The growth of year to year has been very encouraging. I have some numbers to share with you all, the audience, from Maybank's perspective. First, I'll share in terms of the transaction that involved for the last 3 years. So if I can just share the last 3 years, our CAGR growth in terms of transaction at our MTU has been growing at 48% for the last 3 years. Last year alone, the volume of transaction has reached to 1.1 trillion transactions. And the value come to Ringgit Malaysia of 640 billion. So that's in terms of transaction done through our M2U or Maybank to you. But from the e-wallet perspectively, the growth also recorded quite high, a growth by 130%, reaching to the value of 600 million. So you can see from these numbers how the penetration, the acceptance of the Malaysian towards digitalization, even in payment. That's on Maybank perspective. If I look at the number of industry in Malaysia as a whole, first quarter this year, up to March, first quarter, the industry growth via payment using our growth numbers. I think the industry experienced a growth by 162% year on year. So all 3 digits number then. So it shows that how this the impact, the behavior have changed towards digitalization. So what contribute to these factors, to these numbers? I can just sum to maybe 3 for now. So, firstly, definitely the growth in terms of penetration rates of smartphone. Like what Dr. Hanif says that in Cambodia, the number is very good. In Malaysia, the penetration rates of smartphone has gone up to 98%. And I believe all countries in the ASEAN also having that kind of numbers, penetration rate on smartphone. So imagine if the smartphone is just like you putting the technology in the hand of customers. So you put that in the hand, then with that, it increase in terms of digital savvy. So customers start to ask in terms of services that can provide convenient, quick, and seamless, and secure also. So when every time they want to do payment. So that first factor, I think that contribute to the growth of that number which I mentioned. Second, if you look at maybe the current situation, the pandemic situation, right? So people hardly use cash, hardly go to the bank even then. So they use digital, they use online payment to make to reach out to whoever they want to make payment. I have that numbers when I look at up to June 2021, half year. So year on year, our growth in terms of payment via digital has grown by 175%. So people hardly use cash now, don't want to use cash. Even if they go to pay, they will just use their card and just use the wave. They don't want to touch even there. So that, in a way, accelerate the process of cashless society that we want to, right? So that's a part of the agenda and contribute to the progress and numbers. And thirdly, I think definitely we cannot deny the role of regulators, governments in Malaysia, Bank Government Malaysia also has been very strong proponents on digital Malaysia, digitalization in Malaysia. They are very responsive in terms of even lay down the necessary foundations, policies, guideline, initiative towards digitalization. And similar also in Cambodia. MBC has been very responsive to this, and even making use of this technology as a tool for us towards financial inclusion, reaching out to those who are staying at the rural area, the province area. So I guess these are the things that help the growth of the payments via digital. Pass you back, Kenneth. That's my comments on your questions now. Thanks.
Thank you, Dato. It's very exciting to see that the shift in digital is driven by multiple stakeholders in a concerted effort to really bring progress to countries across the ASEAN region. So over back to Excellency, before the Bakong project was introduced, what was online banking like, and in terms of the popularity of it, and how did funds and transfers and payments look like before all of this sort of came through via the Bakong project?
I think the mobile payment in Cambodia started to really kick off about, I would say, 8-9 years ago. It was happening in a isolated sort of environment where, as I mentioned earlier, if you're a customer of one service provider, then you can only transact with users of the same service provider, be it a payment service provider or a bank. And occasionally you would see a bilateral agreement or negotiation between one payment service provider with a bank. And this is the case where, the customer can cross transfer. But it was rare. Now with Bakong, the beauty of it is that we're now able to bring everyone together. And this is even more important during this time of pandemic where, social distancing measure is in place, and we try to avoid, as Dato Hamirullah mentioned, we try to avoid, cash transaction as much as we can. And we're fortunate that we've studied Bakong very early on. And launched it really right before the pandemic. And so that's give the opportunity for customers to now be able to transact without having to worry that, what if the other person don't use the same account, the same bank or the same payment service provider as me. And so in a way, because of this, we've seen a big increase in mobile payment in Cambodia just between 2019 to end of 2020. The number I had is in terms of mobile and internet banking, we have about 4 million transactions. And in terms of value, it's close to 400% of our GDP. And so that's a really a big momentum. I can't really compare the portion of mobile banking with the cash transaction because we haven't got the data in terms of cash transaction, but all I know is that the increase has been tremendous. It was increasing in 3-4-fold within a very, very short period of time. Bakong itself, in terms of the adoption, earlier in the year, there was about only, as of end of March, there was only about 100,000 downloads. And at that time, I said I was actually quite disappointed. And even though it was fast, we launched it in October 2020. I was hoping that the uptake will be quicker. But then around April, we had a lockdown that lasted for quite a while. And that's when we saw a surge in download of Bakong. So within 3 months, we have doubled the number. So end of June, we had about 200,000 Bakong downloads. And that's just those who only use wallet to wallet. In terms of the outreach of Bakong itself, we reach around very close to 6 million people.
Excellency, just like just a follow-up question to that. What are some of the use cases of Bakong, and how does this alleviate some of the challenges that the people of Cambodia face in their daily lives?
Well, I mentioned interoperability is very important. Where you're able to send money to whoever they are, regardless their service provider. It's also cost efficient and it's safe. As long as transaction is within the Bakong wallet, is free of charge. Now, in the case of, let's say, a cross-border use case as the one we're trying to do right now, the potential is huge. And I give you a very personal example of mine. And this is a very, trying to bring technology to the real life situation. About 3-4 years ago, I adopted a boy. He's turned 4 in October. And he was born out of rape. His biological mother was a migrant worker who worked in Phnom Penh, and her hometown is in the province. And she started working at a very young age, and she sent money regularly to her family in the village, hoping that they would use the money towards the sibling educations and, renovate the house, etc. And eventually, throughout her working life, which is not even that long, she fell sick and she couldn't work. And so she had to go back home. And when she went back home, what she saw was that all the money that she sent were used for the wrong purpose. So the father was an alcoholic, and so he would beat the mother for the money. The brother became a drug addict, also beat the mother for the money. And so the house was dilapidated. So she went back to her village, seeing all her neighbors who sent their children to work like her had a better living condition, whereas her family was very it was still basically the same or worse. And so she got very depressed, and depression became worse and worse, and to the point where she just, go around the village naked. She would scream, she would shout to whoever. And there's people in the village who abused her and raped her. And 2 times, my son was the second child that she gave birth to. And for me, it sort of dawned on me that, you have a lot of migrant workers who send money home to someone and hope that the money will be used for the right purpose, and it didn't. And so it can be very devastating, particularly, a lot of the migrant workers in Cambodia, the migrant workers in Malaysia are mostly women who work as domestic worker. And the idea of working with Maybank really is trying to think and put my own experience into practice and see how we can help these, domestic worker remit money first, cheaply. As we know, cross-border remittance is very expensive for migrant workers. It can go up to 30%, 20%. So one is to try to make it cheaper. 2 is to allow these women to be able to send it directly to the service provider. So instead of these migrant workers sending money to one person and the person risk of misusing the fund, the migrant worker can send directly to her children school fee or hospital bill or whatever she needs to pay for. And because it's low fees, because it's convenient, she will be able to do it anytime she wants to. She doesn't have to walk to a bank, ask permission from the house owner to go to a bank and go at the counter and do all these transactions. She can do it from home anytime she wants and direct it to anyone she wants to. And so the ability to manage her money is really empowering for these women. And I think this is really what we wanted to achieve with the launch of Maybank-Bakong cross-border.
Thank you for sharing that, Excellency. It was very inspiring. And it's great to see that a single idea, motivation can actually impact the lives of so many people via a single platform. Dato' Hanif, I understand that Maybank Cambodia is also a participating bank with the Bakong domestic app. How would this benefit Maybank customers and community within Cambodia?
Oh yes, that's correct, Kenneth. Bakong pickup rate is remarkably high in terms of both active users and monetary transactions. We only started active participation on domestic Bakong on the 11th of June this year. And since then, we see 35% active users. That translates to monetary transactions of about $3 million up to yesterday. Certainly, we will continue to see significant growth beyond today. As a member of Bakong, customers can easily transfer funds to Maybank accounts in real time, anytime, anywhere. Customers can register Bakong wallet with Maybank via the Bakong app, which allows customers to make QR payments, to receive, to deposit money to more than 28 participating financial institutions, to friends, schools, colleges, or even small businesses via phone number or selecting selective recipient via their favorite contact list, with ease of use, safe, and effective. The payment infrastructure allows customers to perform interbank fund transfers and payments electronically in real time in both Khmer Rial and US dollars. In the past, this kind of remittance was only applicable to US dollars. Now, through this digital offering, financial institutions can provide efficient and affordable online services for the community at large, especially the underserved. Certainly, the motivations and aims of the Bakong project are very much aligned to and resonates very strongly with Maybank's own mission of providing humanizing financial services within each of the markets that we serve. And we're excited as we explore possibilities and opportunities of how our joint initiative can help provide benefits to the people of Cambodia, both locally and overseas. Kenneth, thank you.
Thank you, Dato' Hanif. It's always great to see a very strong collaboration between banks and regulators to deliver solutions to the underserved communities. And I think my next question is really towards Dato' Hamirullah. Can you tell us more why Maybank was interested in participating and collaborating in this cross-border initiative?
Yeah, such inspired story from Her Excellencies that actually we can use technology just not for the normal businesses, but I think technology can help to those really needs, especially those people in province. And I think this project, which Project Bakong, that I think was also to cater that kind of inspiration. For Maybank, which has been grown for more than 60 years since we born, and also we has established our first branch in Cambodia in 1993, I guess. So our commitment will continue able to serve the communities across all markets in whichever we serve, right? So, and part of our mission of Maybank is the humanizing financial services. So I just want to tag to what just now the story of. So I think I try to relate technology, how we can really help that, and also it's part of financial inclusion. Perhaps maybe in Malaysia, there are quite numbers of Cambodian working in Malaysia, and definitely they need to send their money back to hometown, to their families there. And the question is that how fast they can do that. Based on the current, before Bakong, it would take several days and the process will be lengthy. And I think like to ensure that whether that money that is sent back reach to the right person. Yes, it reached the right person, but for what purpose? So I guess with this project Bakong, we can help and address that issues that we have currently in the society. So definitely we are interested to be part of it, of this Project Bakong. And by having Project Bakong, I guess now everyone can do transfer their money, send back the money. For the Cambodian, I guess they can send money back hometown instantly. And secured, convenient, and also affordable. So I guess that's also part of financial inclusion, that providing accessible to everyone, the community that we serve. We just not restrict to the people who are staying in town, even people stay right to the province or the rural area. So we still can reach out and help them to their financial need and the financial assistance and financial banking needs that are required. So I guess that's my response. That's the reason why I think together with our mission of humanizing, we will continue to support this project and do our part to the nation. Thanks, Pastor Kenneth.
Thank you, Dato' Amirullah. It's very critical that technology isn't just cutting edge technology for the purpose of being the most advanced technology out there. There's a very true need for us to really crack the financial inclusivity and underserved segment here. And I believe this is a project that will definitely be able to achieve those objectives. We've come to probably the tail end of this fireside chat. But we just wanted to see if Her Excellency would be able to share, what are your plans? What would be the next step for Bakong and Maybank collaborations? Is that something that you could share with us, or Her Excellency?
Yes, definitely. This collaboration is only a beginning. I'm sure there are more that we can do together. For instance, for now, it's a one-way transfer, but we're also working on both-way transfer, where people from Malaysia can also send money from Bakong to their Maybank app, to their loved one in Malaysia. We could also explore, other, QR payment for tourists. Now it's remittance, but we can also explore local currency. At the moment, it is limited to ringgit to US dollars, but as I mentioned countless times, Bakong, one of the main reason of Bakong is to make usage of local currency easier for the people, more convenient. And so ultimately what we want to see is direct conversion from ringgit to Khmer Rial. But definitely, I think there are so much more that we could explore and do together. But always have in mind that whatever we are going to work on, it's for the benefit of the people and the society of both countries.
Thank you so much, Excellency. I think a critical part of delivering this project is the project team themselves. So may I ask the distinguished guests whether they would like to have any message or any key themes to the project team that has ensured the success of Bakong? Maybe Excellency, you may start.
I'm really, really grateful to the team from Maybank Cambodia, Maybank Malaysia, and the National Bank of Cambodia team. I think they have produced. There's a lot of effort put into this. We met with a lot of obstacles along the way, but they were able to deliver this within a very I would say not short period of time, but a very acceptable time frame given the pandemic. And without the pandemic, we could have achieved it much faster. So really very much grateful to them, and mostly all the credit will go to the team who has been very hands-on in this project.
Thank you, Excellency. Dato' Hanif, any key messages for the project team?
Probably. May I invite Dr. Amirullah first?
Dato' Amirullah.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah, I'll take this opportunity to express our thanks to everyone who has been involved for these projects, from NBCs, from Maybank Cambodia, and from Maybank Malaysia. It's good where we will work together, collaboration. There are a lot of things that you learn, not from one angle. We can learn also from several kind of views, and so it's something that that I guess is you may not able to get it somewhere. Yes, we have a lot of challenges. We heard even one of the project team members got affected with COVID-19, but the person keeps strong, keep contributing to what he can, even when he's under quarantine. So I must thank all these kind of strong kind of contribution efforts. Remember, this project is just not to be seen as from business perspective, but remember the project that we all do it is also for the convenience of even those underserved customers. Remember, these projects helping to make them reaching out those their family who are at the province quite far. So by having this project, you make them easier, convenient. The money can be transferred immediately, instantly, and secured. So I think right from your heart, you are contributing something not only to the bank or is to the nation as well. So such a good effort, and my thanks to everyone, and continue to keep it up with that kind of contribution. Pass to you, Kenneth. Thanks.
Thank you, Dato' Amirullah. Dato' Hanif?
What more can I say? Excellency, Dr. Chesrai and Dr. Amirullah has said it all. But I think really is the learnings on the ground is the possibility of effective collaboration between ourselves and as well as National Bank of Cambodia. I think for as long as we're open to possibilities, there's a lot more actually that we can achieve. And then personally, I'm looking forward to what else. I think to Excellency's comments just now to complete the other leg of Malaysia to Cambodia to Malaysia, and take it beyond. I think the possibilities can be endless actually. And also before I forget, probably if we can all join me to congratulate the team that made this digital event possible. I think it was done in super fast time, and I must say, well done, guys. Good job. Thank you.
Well done.
Well done. Keep it up.
Thank you, everybody. With that, we've come to the end of our fireside chat. We hope you've enjoyed this session and gained insights and greater purpose of this project and collaboration. And I would like to say a very, very thank you to Her Excellency, Dr. Chesrai, Dato' Amirullah Borhan, and Dato' Hanif. It was indeed an inspiring and insightful conversation, and we hope to see you in the future once again. Do stay safe and well. Siti, Saray, back to you.
Amazing, such an insightful discussion. Thank you again, Her Excellency Dr. Chesrai, Dato' Amirullah, Dato' Hanif, and Mr. Kenneth. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to another highlight of this auspicious event, the official launch of the Maybank-Bakong cross-border funds transfer, a collaboration between the National Bank of Cambodia and Maybank, offering an ultra-convenient service and practical digital financial solution that enhances cross-border connectivity between Cambodia and Malaysia, enabling fast and affordable international remittances between the two countries, promoting greater financial empowerment, supports the move towards a cashless society, and accelerate financial inclusion.
Without further ado, we would like to invite our project sponsors, Her Excellency Chesrai, Dato' Amirullah Borhan, and Dato' Muhammad Hanif Swati. Your Excellency and Dato', you may touch the digital screen with a count of 3. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you so much, Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, for spending your precious time to participate in our virtual launch today. Since the project initiative commenced in late 2019, we are serious and appreciated the ongoing support provided by both the National Bank of Cambodia and Maybank team in making this Maybank-Bakong collaboration a success. On this auspicious day, we are extremely pleased to share this congratulatory message, as well as a closing remark from His Excellency Dr. Chia Chanto, Governor of the National Bank of Cambodia.
Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. Today, I have a great honor and pleasure to launch the Bakong cross-border payment and remittance between Cambodia and Malaysia. On behalf of the National Bank of Cambodia, I appreciate the joint effort of the National Bank of Cambodia and Maybank Technical Working Group for this remarkable achievement. I am delighted to convey my heartfelt congratulations for the new milestone. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I am confident that Bakong cross-border payment and remittance between Cambodia and Malaysia will enable both countries to reach another level of financial cooperation in further leveraging the technology to benefit the people in both countries, especially the migrant workers who need to remit funds to support their family in a secure and cost-efficient manner. In the next step, we will explore the possibility to put in place other features of this project and extend the collaboration with other banking institutions in Malaysia as well as in other countries in the region. I hereby announce the official launch of Bakong cross-border payment and remittance between Cambodia and Malaysia. May I wish Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, good health, prosperity, happiness, and success in every endeavor. Please stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency, for your wonderful words. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we end this event, please allow us to spotlight all our participants today and take a group photo. So please switch on your video and put a smile on. All right. Please hold on and keep that smile while we screenshot everyone, yeah?
Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with that we have come to the end of our event for today. On behalf of the National Bank of Cambodia and Maybank, we would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for taking time from your busy schedule to celebrate the success of this significant milestone and be a part of this memorable event with us. Thank you from me, Sarai. Terima kasih and stay safe.
And from me, Siti, thank you. Som Orkun, have a pleasant day ahead.
gotta day May. It's gotta day May.
Recording stopped.